talk about the fact that all the issues that have been brought up for women at the moment, when we talk about, as I said, defining femininity, what is sexy, what makes womanness, men also have those issues when it comes to self-development, doesn't it? You know, defining masculinity, defining what a man's body should look like, things like men expecting to be the breadwinner and not live at home with parents, or, you know what I mean? There's this idea that men are always supposed to be strong, independent. All these, I don't know, all these expectations, I suppose, that I think puts a real barrier between help and men actually getting some help to define for themselves who they are as a man.
Yeah, but I mean, the additional spin is we don't necessarily live in that world anymore of women are women and men are men.
True, yeah.
You know, so it actually is so much deeper. You know, those ideals are being you know, the ideals of, you know, what is a woman and femininity, etc., is actually being argued at a whole other level.
Yes, we're in a spin cycle now, aren't we? Of
A completely different environment. So, you know, so is it a what's a woman thing and a what's a man thing, or is it just what is a good person thing?
yeah,
You know, it's because really, yes, there are core differences, but those core differences between that male and female scenario are based on a very old ideal now. And you know, if someone's tending to have issues with that, it's based on being in an environment based on those ideals.
yeah.
And it's just not the landscape anymore. You know, you've got I was watching a program the other day about you know, this woman was saying, yeah, you know, is it men who are capable of childbirth? It's like
Wow.
what? It's like what?
Yeah, huh?
Well, yeah, because if you've got a, you know, if you've got a transgender female to male that's not had full reassignment and has still has capability to give
Anatomy.
birth,
Yeah.
anatomy, um, that's a whole other argument.
It's just so huge. So
So huge.
without exploding into another area, because I could easily go there
But
with
what
you.
we're yeah, so but what
What
we're
I've
really
asked you.
talking about is, you know, so yes, there are there needs to be something for everyone, you know. So yes, women, you know, have got all the things you're talking about, and you know, what defines femininity, etc. Men do need that too, but you also got men who are transitioning to being a female need help, and males transitioning to females, and you know, all of the above.
Mm,
You know, there's not enough help for everybody. You know, because I also have transgender friends,
yeah.
and um, the mind battles are very prolific.
Mm,
And you know, so there's assistance across the board. Really, you know, it comes down to what are we defined by? Are we just being, you know, are we defined by gender, or are, you know, it depends what we're talking about. Are we being defined just by being a good person? What's required for that?
yeah.
You know,
Roles come into it too, don't they? You know.
role exactly. You know, in a relationship between two guys, you know, is it both are, are both guys breadwinners? No, you know, not at all. You know, I work from home, so I tend to do, in the absence of a housekeeper, um, the laundry and you know, those bits and bobs. But I'm here and can manage all that. It's not that I'm oh, I've been all day doing all the housework. No, but you know, if you can whack a wash on whilst you're going to go and do something else and just keep yourself organized, does that mean I'm the feminine one in the relationship? No, not at
Mm,
all.
Mm.
between two women, you've had that experience. So it's like, well, what are we being defined by?
Yeah, yeah. What defines us in our
What defines
humanness?
us? Yeah. So, being the housewife and all that, that's an old ideal.
Mm.
How about just being someone that's got your shit together and just doing your own laundry? And, if you're in a relationship, you put the other person's underwear in the washing machine as well. I mean,
Yeah.
lovely. Do you know what I
So
mean?
do
Like,
you think,
I'm doing mine and you're doing yours. It's like, well,
so
it's a big conversation.
yeah. And so in bringing that back to, getting help with what ultimately we're talking about, identity, with getting help with that, personally, I've just because of the circles perhaps I move in, I see a larger proportion of women actively sort of seeking, help to do breath work, inner child work, trauma healing, and identity work, things like that. I've seen more women than men. Not to say that's the measure, because as I said, that's through my lens. And so I'm interested to hear from you, Adam. Do you think that it's easier for women to seek that kind of help in identity growth than men?
Um, yes, because there's been more focus on that.
Mm.
I've also got friends that are running male-centric groups. They're going off into the bushlands of the southern parts of New South Wales and around oh my God, Byron Bay and all that kind of area. And you got 30 blokes all standing in a waterfall, all going, "I am an elephant," like screaming, all this kind of stuff. So there are these groups out there. There's something for everybody. Most definitely, there needs to be more focus on providing more for males. Equally, male to female, female to male. Or there needs to be something for everybody. The landscape is definitely changing, has changed, and is forever changing. So I think there needs to be something for everybody, something more for everyone.
Yeah, I like because it was interesting, what you just said then. I've come across, some men's groups, 100%, that really help men embrace that alpha kind of, celebrating their masculinity and being an alpha energy and loving that energy. However, there is also a need, I think, to be okay with if that's not the energy that you feel. Like, what defines alpha? To be honest, we've had this, again, societal, and that happens in women's circles as well. The alpha woman, is put off as this person who demands that they get the attention, demands that they get the spotlight or in the front, and they are, will not take no for an answer. That kind of strong feeling. A person, male or female, a person can be alpha within their own life and within standing, strong with their values and their morals. So it doesn't
Exactly
necessarily
right.
have to be the
Exactly
defined
right.
alpha as per society, does it?
Exactly right. I mean, when we read books like Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maltz, I'll get that name right. It's one I talked to you about that book the other day.
I will check that out while you're talking. Go for it.
He talks about, really everything is tied to our self-image. And so what is identity? What image do we have of ourselves? That dictates, the confidence to do things. If you don't, when I used to teach people how to trade the financial markets, um, through my own journey, I came to the realization, I was like, if you don't think of yourself as a financial market trader, you will not take on that identity. So if you've always worked stacking shelves in a supermarket, that's it becomes part of how you do, how you do things, how you present yourself in the world. You know, do people want, like, oh, I'd love to have more money? Yeah, absolutely. But you know, if that's all you've ever known, you know, what we do for a living, all that becomes a core part of identity, as well as gender, as well as, so rich kids, you know, will always be rich and poor kids will always be poor. Yeah, because that's the environment is everything.
Mm.
So is it just about that male energy? No, you know, females can have that masculine energy. You know, we know there's the feminine and the masculine side with everything. So is it just about being a man? No, you know, should those groups be open to, you know, female to male? You know, it's such a, like, where do we go here
Yeah.
scenario. It really is. What I find is in my own rationalizations, and this is obviously just my lens, I'm like, well, it's just about being a good person. It's
Yeah.
about, you know, being confident that you can do anything you want to do. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Who cares what other people say as well?
Mm.
You know, focus on that, and then how you present yourself into that vibe is entirely up to you. It doesn't matter what you've got between your legs or how you think about that kind of stuff. You know, it's just it's an energy thing rather than that kind of physical manifestation of
Yeah.
necessarily. Um, so yes, do I think there should be more help for men? 100%. You know, and I know my own journey, and for people I know, that's really become a thing. Um, but that's not going to fit for everyone, like you say. You know, there needs to be more groups for everyone. But wouldn't it be lovely if we could all come together and have the same viewpoint in
Oh, I
some
know.
way?
We do dream about our utopia, don't we, Adam?
I mean, you know, wouldn't that be great? Because it's
Yeah.
just because it's a people thing. It's a people and a being a good person thing. But be good to yourself first. You
Mm.
know, put your own oxygen mask on first before you sort everybody else out.
Yeah. I love that about, learning your individual neurology code. I love that that journey is really about defining your identity as a human
As a human,
without the
exactly.
labels, just as a human. Find out, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And what does that mean? So
Yeah,
if you want to be more a masculine energy, great. Tell me what that looks like to you.
yeah.
Because if we're constantly attempting to mold our identity based on other people's expectations and measures, then I feel like we're always going to fall short in some aspect with.
You'll always be lost because
Yeah.
it's based on somebody else's stuff. Be
Yeah.
your own North Beacon, you know?
Oh, mic drop there. Loving that. That's a good line.
That was a good one. I don't know
That
where
was
that
a good one.
that
Yeah.
was a good one. Yeah, and you know, run your own race. Be your own person. It's I can tell you, it's so much better to do it that way.
Yeah.
Uh, you know,
100%. Well, neurology code is for everyone. So
absolutely it is. Yeah.
absolutely.
So turn up in whatever way you need to turn up. It's all good.
Exactly. Exactly. We love that. You and I turn up however we want to turn up, don't we?
Absolutely. Well, you know, with a little bit of glamour, obviously.
Yeah. You bring the glamour. I'll
Not
bring
today.
the
Mind
sass.
you, not today.
You
Today's not
always
a
look
good day.
gorgeous. I tell you this.
Not putting my
Always.
stage outfit on.
All right. We'll wrap this up. Adam, thank you for your insights today. I really
Yeah, mon
wanted
plaisir.
to play around with that one with you. I thought it's a really important
Yeah.
subject. And obviously, yeah, it stretches into so many other subjects as well, which we're not afraid to go to for
Oh
sure.
no, not at all.
So another day, another time. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, darling. I
All
shall
right.
see you next week.
Much love. Mwah.
Bye.